All right, so the first thing they want 5 points. So I'm going to look at 5 dots, and I'm going to list my letters. Okay, there's nothing tricky about this. What's the first letter by this point? Yep. Give me another one. Good. Next. Keep going. Good. Good. Don't forget your commas because they want the points, so they're all separate. All right. 2 lines. So I know on the page I could draw a ton of lines, but they want the 2 lines shown. Anybody want to give me one of them? AC is what I heard first. Good. Okay, so the first one I wrote in blue. So I started at A and went to C. What's special about that hat? What do I need on it? Arrows, because they want a line. Good. So that's my blue. I did hear someone else already yell the other one. B to C. Is there any other way I can name that? Yeah, CB or DC, right? I can use D as well. Not CA. We already used that one. Because CA would go back to the blue. We're on the green. So like CD, DC, BC. I could use BD. Any of those. B to C is what I heard first. And I need to throw this pen away. B to C. All right, questions, comments, concerns so far? I'm trying to still get my stuff out. I don't like when I'm disorganized. All right, 2 planes. So there are 2 planes on here, and I need to name both of them. Okay, which one do y'all want to name first? The one that's horizontal, the one that's like the blue line, or let's say the up and down, or the side to side?
You could just use the cursive F, though.
You could. For that one. Okay, so Lane told us that this plane, so this one down here, we're going to use that cursive letter. Okay, so my first plane is plane F. Now, put you a little tail on it so we know it's a little cursive letter. So I'm no longer looking at this box then. I just want to try to visualize this front one, the one that's up and down. It's hard to visualize it, but that's what you want to look at. I need a plane. How do I name this plane right here?
Could be ACB.
Say it again?
ACB.
ACB. Does that work? Do they make a straight line? No? So can I use those? Yes, good. All right, Lane is not allowed to answer anymore.
Why not?
Because you're answering all the good ones. He is answering the easier ones. ACB. And you can mix those letters up if you want to. Okay, I do want to name plane F in a different way. I love that we use the script letter, but let's name it with some letters too. Pick me 3 letters off of plane F, that green one that I traced.
BC.
Say it again.
BC.
And?
D.
No, we can't use A because A is on this one. So B, C, and
E.
E has to be part of it. We can't use D. We have to do B, C, E because then we can make a triangle. Does that make sense? Okay, so you have to make a triangle to name a plane. So this is, what did we say, B, C, and E. Plane B, C, E. That's another way. Right down there. I wrote it small. B, C, E. It's the same, and I should have wrote it in green. It's the same as plane F. Okay. So there are 3 answers to D. Who wants the easiest one?
C.
What did I tell you?
Okay.
A point on the line, right? Because this is arrows. So the point on line BD.
So BC.
That's one answer. That's the easiest one.
Would it be CE? CA?
Is E on that line?
No.
So what are other points that are on that line?
DB?
D and B, yeah, good. C is usually the answer that I get. But I want you to know that B and D are also points on that line. Even though they used them to name it, there's still points on the line. Okay? All right, I want you to do 3 by yourself. Collinear. Recall that stuff from yesterday. Remember, Miss Woods and I were co-workers. We work in the same place. So collinear, what did that mean?
Same line.
Yes. Okay, so 3 points on the same line. I need a straw.
Sorry, guys.
Miss Cottle, go to the office.
I know.
All right, about 15 more seconds. And if you want to work ahead, you are more than welcome to work ahead. But 3 collinear points. Oh, good. All right, so if I'm just using the picture, there's only 3 points that are on one line that are shown. Anybody get them?
E, C, D.
B, C, and D. Anybody not get them? Good. Okay. It's okay to tell me. Nobody's going to make fun of you. 3 non-collinear points. This one's a little harder.
I only got
A-B-E. I got EAC, which I can probably get wrong.
So there are several answers.
because I got A, E,
So A and E are definitely off of lines. So all I have to do is pick one more point.
F.
Yeah. Oh, well, F's not a point. F's not a point.
B is a B.
So something like B. Anything. Yeah, if you picked A and E, these are already not on a line. So all I have to do is pick one more point. It doesn't matter. Because can I draw a straight line with those points? So you're good. Right? The only one that you can't have is the ones that you can draw straight lines through. So I can't have B, C, and D together, but I could have a B, C, I could have a C, D, I could have a E, D, a E, C, any of them, as long as you can't draw a straight line. Okay? So let's see. Chelsea said A, E, and pick another one. B. Good. All right. 4 coplanar. What does coplanar mean?
Same plane.
In the same plane, so inside the same box. There are 2 different answers. F's not a point. So scratch it. So I would say if you keep wanting to do that one, just scratch it out, so you know that you can't use it. Sorry, one more time.
C-A-B-B.
C, A, B, and D. Those are all on this front plane. Yes. So this plane here has A, B, C, and D in it. There's another answer for the green box.
That would be B, C, D, E.
Yes. So it's still going to have B, C, and D, but the other point is going to be E. Okay, so if you would like to write both answers is, let's see, E, B, C, and D. It only asks for one, so you don't have to do both. And that's a slash. I don't know why I put that there. We'll just box it. This or that. I probably made it worse. Last one, 4 non-coplanar points. Okay. So it's easiest to pick the off point first. So if I'm going to start with E, then I need 3 other points in a different box. A is going to have to be one of them, and D. So E, and then all 3 of these are in the pink as non-coplanar. All right. So we have E in the green, and then A, C in the pink. There's also another answer for that too, but we're going to keep rolling so I can give y'all some good time for homework. All right, a few more words. Okay, nothing too crazy. This one says, and I don't know, man, am I so disorganized today, y'all? Told y'all, I usually think secondary, and now tomorrow I'm going to be a real mess. Like, hopefully I show up tomorrow, right? All right, here we go. A segment or a line. It's a part of a line. Consists of 2 points, and all the points. A segment is different for a segment and a line. Is that there's no arrows. A segment starts and a line goes forever. Okay, so we're going to have a start end points. So everything's an end point even if you start with it. Right? It's on the line. So doesn't matter as long as it stops. We're going to name it the same way, right? Only hats, we're not going to put those arrows. So I'm just going to put a line on top because I'm 2. More than one little dot. You do not have to. You can just put a line as long as I don't see arrows. Okay? And then just like before, we can also reverse them. All right, questions on a segment. Okay, good. Because these should be something you should know these already. All right, an end point. We talked about this already too. It's the point on an end of a line or a segment. Sorry, I said the wrong thing. A point on the end of a segment. That's all it is. There's 2 of them, C and D. All right. Now these 2 we'll spend a little time on. A ray is a part of a line that it starts at an end point and it extends forever in one direction. All right, we're going to talk about a ray because this is the only time in geometry that I'm going to make the order matter. Right? So the way I write these is going to matter. If you mix them up, I do have to count them wrong. The reason being is because with a ray, you always start with the end point. So if I'm looking at this top ray, oh, and we're frozen. It's still going. Oh yeah, it is going. Okay. 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 So if I start with this top ray, okay, that's what I'm looking at, this top one. I need to start, the first letter is the end point. So which one is the end point? R. So that's going to be the letter that I write first. And if I trace my line, so if I start at my end point and I trace my line, what letter do I go through? S. So it comes second. Now I have to put the hat on exactly like I traced it, right? So I started with R, so that's where the point's going. And then I went through S, so that's how my arrow's going to go. Does that make sense? What if I wrote it? Nope, let's just do the next example. So let's look at the bottom example, because now I have an arrow going to the left. So what is my end point? R. It's still R, so that's my first letter. And if I trace it, what letter do I go through? S. So that goes second. Now here's the curveball. What kind of hat do I put on it? Does the arrow go to the right or to the left? This arrow goes to the left, so shouldn't I put it to the left? No, because R is the end point. That's where I started, and then I went through S. Okay. It's kind of tricky. It's a little something you got to get used to, but you'll be fine, I promise. Let's practice one. So draw this for me, please. Oh, no, up here. Sorry. This is going to be K, and that's going to be J. Name that for me, please. Write it down. See if you can do it. I'm going to give you like 15 seconds. It's just like the one we just did. You can do this. Okay. What is the end point? K. That's the first letter I'm writing down. Trace it. Start at K and then trace it. So I went through the letter and then the arrow goes to the right. Do you think that it can correct write them? If you switch them for me, like let's say you did this. You put JK and then the arrow to the left. I know that you did the right thing, okay? I know that you, nope, yep. So this to me says that you started with K and went through J because I'm following your hat. Okay, so I get it, it's correct, but the proper math way to do it is always to have it to the right. Okay? But if I know that you're getting it and I know that you can do it, if that's your answer, I will give you credit. Okay? All right, last little definition. Opposite rays. Opposite rays. If I have two rays that are going in opposite directions, what do you think they're going to make? Yes, right? So I have a ray to the right and a ray to the left. So these two are going to make a line. And we skipped a blank. Oh, it's two of them. So opposite rays are two rays that have a common endpoint. So they start in the same position and then they go in different directions. Okay, so if they have a common endpoint, that means if I'm looking at this picture, both rays have to start at the same dot. So which dot are they both going to have to start with? G? Can I name a ray out to the right? No. So say it again. Nope, it can't start with G. No. It has to start with E. This is the common endpoint. That's my common endpoint. Okay, so now name them. Name them. Try not to cheat. Here, I'm going to cover that up. Two letters. So if I start with E, which side do you want to do, left or right? Left was what you were doing. Okay, so if I start with E, what letter do I go through? F. So E to F, and my arrow's going to the right. Good. There we go. You got it. All right. Questions on that? So we started with E and went through G. Oh, sorry. Yes. If there's more than 3 points, no. But if there's 3 points, yes. All right. Last little bit, and then I'm going to give you your homework. So I'm going to pass your homework out while you're working on these, but we're going to do the first one together so you kind of know what to do. So it says draw and label each of the following. The first one says a segment with the endpoints of M and N. So first thing I'm doing is I'm thinking, okay, what does a segment look like? It's not a trick question. What does a segment look like? Yeah, it's just a line, but instead of arrows, I'm going to put dots. Yeah, it does. End. Good. Now, it wants me to label the endpoints M and N. Does it matter which side I put on which one? No, as long as they're both on the end. M and N. That's what they want right there. Okay, so I'm going to pass homework out. While I'm doing that, I would like you to try B and C, and then once I'm done passing homework out, I'll put the answers on the board so you can check them. Okay? And then I'll talk to you a little bit about the homework, and then I'll let you go. That might still be extra. I don't know. It's all good. Think about what you're trying to draw. So draw the basics first, right? So on B, it says opposite rays. What do I know about opposite rays?
You just put
What do they make?
A line.
A line. So that's my base.
you just put an E in the middle and then whatever letters right and left.
Right, good. So there's my line. I know that opposite rays make a line, and I know that they have to have some sort of endpoint. So there has to be at least one dot. Okay, I know that there's supposed to be 3, right? Because this is what they had up here. So I know that there's supposed to be 2 more somewhere. They tell me that they want the common endpoint to be T. So which dot has to be T? The middle. And since they don't tell me anything else, you can put whatever you want on those dots. Or you could leave them blank like that too. Whatever you like. All right, and the last one, it says to label a ray. So I don't even care about the letters right now. I'm just going to draw a ray. Because I know what a ray looks like, just like that. Well, and actually I know that it's supposed to have another dot. Okay, so now it wants the end point M. So which one of those is M? Yeah, the left one, the one that's on the... I don't know how else to describe it. And then it contains N, so that means go through point N. Have you got them? Woo! Good job. All right, talk about the homework really quick. Just so I can finish the video really quick. So, everybody always asks me about number 1. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, and then I'm going to stop the video, and then I'll give you some more instructions. So a taut piece of thread is a string that I'm just pulling tight. So if I pull a string tight, it's asking me, does it make a point, a line segment, a ray, or a plane? Yes, right? So if I hold a piece of string, and I usually have some, but I hold a piece of string and I stretch it out, that is a line segment because it starts and stops. All right, let me stop this video.